Guys, happy coffee talk. Well, this is a bonus episode, really, because I wasn't planning on recording today. I was actually expecting to be almost on a flight right now, but due to weather, they canceled our flight and moved it back an entire day. So, kind of a bummer. We're headed to Maryland to visit family for the holiday, and they canceled it 12 hours before the flight. I mean, thankfully, we weren't at the airport, so it could have been worse. But traveling with three kiddos, the youngest, which is 3, making plans change is always tough. And going from a direct flight to one with a connection, not ideal. But the ones that they were offering, oh my gosh. I mean, we had a direct flight that was going to take about 5 hours. And the ones that they were trying to put us on were like 14, 15, 17 hours of travel to get. I was like, you have lost your minds. But we figured it out. And so coffee this morning is in my Perry mug. Making me laugh. He made me laugh a little bit this morning with his angry eyebrows. And I am drinking, actually, I don't know the name of the coffee. I'm so sorry. It's not Black Rifle. It's something different. I should tell you. I'll put it in the show notes. I'll look it up and figure it out. But it's really good. I'm pretty sure I got it as a gift. And so I want to tell you about it. Let me be honest. I did not want to do coffee talk this morning. I wasn't in the mood. Okay. So feeling fine, but also still a little perturbed from last night. Plus, I had to engage with the Alaska people, and I'm just not a confrontational person. So whenever I have to do that kind of thing, it always taps me emotionally. I don't feed off of that kind of energy. In fact, it drains me like big time. And so if I'm 100% honest, I did not want to do coffee talk this morning. In fact, there's a bunch of things that I'm going to do today that I don't want to do. Because the plans changed, right? So my brain's like, I don't want to do it because your plans changed. But I thought it would be a really good topic to just talk about doing the work, because one of the big myths that I hear when I'm on consult calls with people is they're like, I just don't have the motivation, or I just don't feel like doing it, or I get frustrated with myself. And the reason I say that this is a myth is because there are very few things in my life that I do consistently that I feel like doing all the time. And so even this podcast, which you guys know I love, and I've talked about how hard the consistency part is, but oftentimes it's just showing up and doing the work. And the belief that I need to feel motivated to do it, or that I even want to feel neutral about doing it, isn't true. There are so many days that I drag myself out to the gym that I don't feel like doing it. And I certainly wouldn't consider myself motivated. And sometimes I even consider myself feeling negative about it. But you show up and you do the work. Nutrition stuff, like healthy eating things, it seems like it should feel motivating. Like, oh, I'm excited to eat healthy. I'm going to do it. I'm going to be motivated to do my meal prep. A lot of times, no, it's just show up and do the work. It doesn't mean that it's never enjoyable. It's just that some days it's not. And I wish people were more honest about that. I wish people talked about that. Again, doing things consistently, showing up for something that's important, does not always feel like fun. And because we have a hard time in this like exercise, eat healthy, nutrition, movement category, self-care, we want it to be fun. We've been sold the truth. We've been sold the like, hey, this is going to be the best, motivating game ever. Or look how fast progress is for these people. It'll be like this for you too if only you do blah, blah, blah. But in reality, progress is typically a lot slower. And there are plenty of days that are not fun. And I wanted to share that with you as I show up to do this podcast today with my Perry mug, with my grouch face mug, because I want you to do the work for yourself. So you're like, okay, Christy, I hear you, do the work. That doesn't sound, you're even using the word work. I don't even like that word. But do the work means show up for yourself when you don't feel like it. That's what it means. And so how can you show up for yourself even when you don't feel like it? You show up for other people when you don't feel like it. I'm sure of that. I'm sure you show up to work. If you have a job, I bet you're not motivated to go to your job every day. Hopefully you enjoy it at some point, but there's probably some days where you're just not feeling it. Even Fit Me, I love coaching. And I love what we're building in Fit Me. And I love being the leader and getting to build programs and train coaches and have a team. All that stuff I love. But some days you just show up and do the work. It's not going to feel like fun, or it's not going to feel exciting, but you just show up and you do it, and you do what needs to be done. So I want to challenge you to ask yourself if you have that mindset around what you need to be doing for yourself. Do you show up and do the work? Or if you just don't feel like it, you don't do it. Do you show up for yourself when it comes to nutrition? Or if you just don't feel like it, you don't do it. Do you show up for yourself when it comes to self-care and managing your stress? Or if you don't feel like it, do you just let yourself be overwhelmed and spend, hours scrolling? What do you do? Are you wondering why you're not seeing the results that you're looking for, but on the other hand, you're not doing the work? You're not putting in the time? And here's another way to think about doing the work, because it's how do you show up for yourself, but how do you do the work? Right? How do you do it? You're like, I want to do it, but mentally I feel like I can't. But I hear you, Christy. I want to show up for myself, but sometimes I don't even know what to do. Well, part of doing the work is having a plan. Part of doing the work is knowing what you're going to do when you show up to do it. You do need some sort of thing, even if it's just a walking plan. You can get it for free on the internet. You're like, okay, I'm going to show up and I'm going to do the work. Here's my walking plan. Committed to doing this. I'm going to build up to it. That really helps you do the work. You know what else helps you do the work? Putting things in your calendar. I've told you guys this before, but if it's not in your calendar, it's probably not important. And if it is in your calendar, it is important. And so if you're not showing up for yourself like consistently by going to the gym, I'm going to guess it's not in your calendar. Or if it's in your calendar, you ignore it because you just pretend like it's not there. It's not in like a real spot where people can't book appointments, or that you tell your boss you got to leave. That's a real spot. But if it's not in your calendar, it's probably not important. It's not going to happen. And you said, oh, I want to do better with my meal prep. When? When are you going to do better with meal prep? When are you going to start grocery shopping for decent food and look up a couple recipes and put together some quality meals for your family? When are you going to do that? If it's not in your calendar, it's probably not happening. So doing the work, have a plan, put things in your calendar that helps you do the work, and commit to it no matter what happens. And so this commitment part is so much more powerful than motivation. Commitment is different. Commitment is saying, I am going to do my best to show up for you. And I'm going to do it no matter what happens. I am committed. And so if you're committed to yourself and Tuesday goes sideways, then Wednesday you show up anyway, even if you don't feel like it, because you're committed. And so, yeah, if Tuesday didn't happen the way you wanted it to, it doesn't mean you quit. It means you show up. Oh, the plan is over and you need a new plan? Ew, I just touched the back of my sweatshirt and Rocky drooled all over me. You're committed to yourself, but you don't have a plan, or your plan runs out. Well, when you're committed, you're going to find the next step. You're going to create, okay, this is the next thing that I've got to do to get to my goal. And you go ahead and lay that one out. And so then you start to create not a perfect plan, but a committed one. One where you're saying like, hey, that ended, but I'm not done. I need the next step. So let me find the next step because I'm committed, not because I'm motivated, not because I'm disciplined, because I'm committed to doing this for myself. Those are very different things. And so I hope this is helpful. I mean, this is a holiday week. I don't expect any like gigantic sweeping commitments of perfection around your nutrition or exercise, but I do want you to put in check the why aren't I getting the results that I want if you're not doing the work? If you're not committed, if you don't have a plan, if you're not putting these things in your calendar, if you're not showing up on days that you don't feel like it, then you're not doing the work yet. And once you start doing the work, well, then yes, you're going to see different results. And so the puzzle isn't how do I get motivated? It's how do I ensure that I'm doing the work? Do I need a tracker? Do I need a coach? Do I need a plan? Do I need to download something off the internet? Do I need to make a commitment to someone? Do I need an accountability buddy? Do I need to kick my own self in the butt and change my mindset and be committed? Commit to what you want. Those are all very reasonable things that have absolutely zippity zero to do with motivation. So that's my coffee talk today. I know it's a little like coach kick in the pants, but that's the mood that I'm in. So that's what you get. And I'm showing up for coffee talk because I want to do the work, because I'm committed to showing up with you and having these conversations, even on days that I don't feel like it. And so hopefully you got something good out of this episode. If you like Coffee Talk, do me a huge favor, screen capture it, share it, and tag me. That's how people find out about it. I don't have any sponsors for this podcast yet. And so if you don't share it, people don't find out about it. And it means a ton to me that you do. Also, if you're not a part of our Facebook group yet, come on over to Fit Me Community on Facebook. We are going to do some really fun things. And in January, we've got something really cool coming up completely for free in the Facebook group. So go to Facebook, search Fit Me Community, and request to join the group. And I hope to see you over there. Thanks as always for plugging in. I'll put some cool stuff in the show notes. If you need anything at all, don't hesitate to reach out. Talk to you soon. Bye.